Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about a few things related to content marketing. And the reason why is because a listener of the podcast, Franklin, I'm going to use his surname just to preserve his anonymity. But of course, Franklin, you say you're a regular listener, so I trust that you're listening. So this is the answer to your question. So let's keep going. So he tried some experimenting with content marketing, and then he ran an advertising campaign to an offer, and it didn't work to convert any sales. So the podcast episode is just to explore principles behind content marketing, how you do it right, and then hopefully how if you do content marketing right, and then if you advertise a program, that's for those of you who are coaches, consultants, you know, those kinds of people. Hopefully, you'll be able to run everything so that it converts and then you get clients at the end of the day. So, let me give you a little bit of a background. You know what, on second thought, let me not go too much into his story, but basically, just know that Franklin is in recovery from drug addiction. And so, his whole ministry is built around that. People who are currently in drug addiction or people who are on their way out or trying to plan, trying to get out of drug addiction. So, summary, that's it. I'm not going to give any more details. So, Franklin started his content creation journey in January of 2026. That is, let's just round it up. Let's say now 5 months now. Let's round it up. 5 months. So that will give a context. Then the message that he sent, the usual, good afternoon, sir, trust you're doing great, blah, blah, blah. I've been trying to market this last week across my social media platform. And then he attached the video, but no one seems to have indicated interest. Is there something I should do different? Okay, so he sent me the video, and then he also sent me the what's it called? The video, and then the flyer, the flyer that he used to promote it. So he's been trying to promote it across social media platforms for 1 week, but nobody is indicating interest. Now I'm not going to describe the video or the flyer because for the purposes of what we're trying to achieve now, that's not important yet. But let's go quickly into some principles behind content marketing and some of the main issues that we're supposed to be looking at. Now, for those of you who are listening to the podcast for the first time, marketing is the business function that tells the whole world, that tells the neighbors, that tells, people within your vicinity. Marketing is the business function that shouts. It tells everybody, I exist. This is what I do. This is how I can help you. This is how you can work with me. This is the benefit you will enjoy. Marketing is mass broadcasting. As in, we shout because we want everybody to hear us. We want people to feel us. We want people to know that we're on ground. Because, like my guy, Grant Cardone says, he's not really my guy. But anyway, so like Grant Cardone says, nobody can do business with you. In fact, I can't remember, how does he say it again? Nobody can flow with you unless they know you. Right? Let me repeat that again. Because some of you, you start off, you say business is hard and things like that. Then by the time I ask one or two questions, I just say, okay, this is the problem. Nobody can flow with you until they know you. Nobody can give you money until they know that you exist, until they know that you're on ground, until they know that you're reliable, until people need to see you first. They need to know you before they can flow with you. So marketing is that business function. If you know they shout, this is me, I exist, I'm over here, this is how I can help you, this is how you benefit from doing business with me, blah, blah, blah. If you don't do that, then you're dead on arrival. So the next step is sales. Because when we do marketing, remember, it is mass broadcasting. So they shout, everybody will hear. Hopefully, one or two people will come forward. For those one or two people who come forward, you will start to relate. You start to have a conversation, one-on-one. From those one-on-one conversations, hopefully you close a couple of deals. But this is the relationship. This is how it works. First of all, you shout. One or two people go indicate. Then you start talking to those people. Hopefully you close some deals. So for those of us who schooled in Lagos, because I went to St. Gregory's College, some of you say Obalende, but nah, it's not Obalende. It's Southwest Ikoyi. That's what we call it. So I went to St. Gregory's College, Southwest Ikoyi. And for those of you who went to school in those days, you remember now, you get to Obalende bus stop, you Obalende under bridge, you enter the car, the bus, the downfall, you're heading to Ikeja. By the time I can't remember that first bridge that you climb up, climb down. Then as you're approaching Third Mainland Bridge, at this point now, nobody's getting off the bus. There was always that one guy who would stand up and we will say, praise the Lord. Everybody will say, hallelujah. And then we'll say, brothers and sisters, no vex, and pastor, so, and so, and so, and so. And today, I want to talk to you about our Lord Jesus Christ, something, something, something. From talking to Jesus Christ, the guy will now enter, do you have waist pain? Do you have back pain? Do you have jetty? Do you have this, that? As you see, very smooth transition. You start by praise the Lord. Next thing, you're trying to sell miracle drug. Then, basically, his sales pitch will be, if you have hypertension, if you have BP, you have this, you have that, God will heal you, but take this product, low sperm count, back pain, this, that, all those miracle drug. That is marketing. You enter the bus, you say, praise the Lord. People shout, hallelujah. See? Response. People don't they engage. Then, give your sales pitch. Now, usually, one or two people will raise their hands. And I was always wondering, now, who are these people raising their hands? Like, I don't know you from anywhere. You want me to just carry this thing that you're selling? I'll just be drinking it because of what? Like, I don't know you. But anyway, the guy will make a couple of sales. Then, by the time we finish from Third Mainland Bridge, approaching that, is it Okonjo Bridge? I can't remember. There's one bus stop there, Sha. I can't remember the name because I haven't been in Lagos in a very long time. The guy will drop there and then we'll move. And guess what? The journey continues. He will hop on the next bus and it starts all over. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Then miracle drug, low sperm count, jetty, back pain, hypertension, diabetes, blah, blah, blah. All these, they are miracle drugs. Right? So that's how it works. Marketing. Shout. Let people see you. Then sales. One-on-one interactions. I repeat. Because some of you get confused. Which is better, sales or marketing? No, like none is better. They work hand in hand. It's a partnership. All right? So, marketing will do its part. Sales will do their own part. But that's how everything works. That's the connection. Bear that in mind. That's the spirit behind all the things we're going to discuss now. Marketing and sales. Shout. Let everybody see me. Let people know me. Then sales. Let people flow with me. People should know me. Then they should flow with me. That's how it works. Know me. Flow me. All right? Okay. Where was I? Now, in the old TV era, look at me saying old TV era as if TV era is over. TV is still here. But in the television era, before internet, right? For those of us who are late 70s, early 80s children, the marketing models were around by then. Yes, I know I was an embryo by then, but the thing is, my mom ended up being an advertising, a marketing exec. So, I used to hear one or two things. And then from her books, I used to read one or two things. So the model that was dominant during that era was AIDA, AIDA. It's an acronym. Attention, interest, desire, action. I repeat. Those days, when people wanted to market through TV, the marketing professionals were thinking about taking people through 4 distinct and related stages. Attention, interest, desire, action. Let us create attention. Then let us generate interest. Let us instill desire in a couple of people. Then let us get them to take action. So, with what I've said now, know me, flow with me. Shout, let everybody see that I'm here. Then I try and collect money from 1 or 2 people. Is 5 months enough to build authority positioning in the drug recovery space? I repeat. Franklin means well. He wants to talk to people in recovery. But honestly, is 5 months enough to establish yourself as an authority? Especially since we're talking about something very, like this is a serious thing. It's a very, very serious thing. It's not as if we're trying to do relationship coach. Yeah, if you're trying to do relationship coach, by the time you talk about boyfriend, girlfriend issues for 5 months, yeah, I guess people will take you seriously. Then, she's a relationship coach. But that's boyfriend, girlfriend. This is different. This is mental health. This is health and safety. This is physical health. Everything health, 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 health. Is a medical something. I don't think 5 months is enough to build, excuse me, your reputation as an authority in that space. And Franklin, let's be frank, you've not been posting every day. Let's just be frank. But even if you were posting every day for 7 days a week for 5 months, I doubt that is enough to establish yourself as an authority so that when you now roll out your course or when you now roll out your program, people will start rushing you to buy. So that was one problem. For those of you who experienced something similar to Franklin, you've been posting, it's been 5 months, you're rolling out your first course. I'm trying to troubleshoot now to show you some of the problems, why the business is not taking off. Then, matters of credibility. Credibility just means, how will I put it now? Credibility means you sound believable. Let's just leave it like that. Credibility, you sound believable. Now, matters of credibility, yeah, are you credible? Yeah. Franklin, because you are dealing with these things, you have lived through it, you have suffered the consequences. Yes, you have some credibility because of your personal story. But your personal story is only one aspect of the equation. Are you credentialed in this space? Do you have the credentials? Do you have the formal certifications? Unfortunately, when we're dealing with medical issues and things like that, all these more stringency is required when dealing with all these medical issues, unfortunately. So, if I want to do relationship coach, that one is different. Like, who cares? Okay, relationship coach, life coach, who cares? But the moment I want to say I'm a mental health professional, or I'm a medical doctor, or I'm curing people from this ailment or that ailment, or I'm helping people with this psychological issue or that psychological issue, it is different. The authorities will look at things different, and people who are seeing your content will look at things different. Okay? So for those people where they form relationship coach, no problem, don't have this issue. But Franklin, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, you will have this issue. So your personal story gives you some credibility, but are you credentialed? I tried to hint at this with our earlier conversations. I didn't think you get the point. You got the point. So I'm saying it now, not because I'm trying to rag on you, but I want you to know, and also for the benefit of other people who are listening. You get some kind of spaces that your personal story is not enough. You will need something else. So Franklin, just take that to heart. Then, remember, we're talking about content marketing now. What is content marketing? Content marketing is when you do what Franklin did, which is you're putting out content, all right, regularly, over time. The content you're putting out is supposed to be stuff that people are interested in and that people will engage with. Hopefully, from people engaging, a couple of people will reach out to you to have conversations. And then from those conversations, you have 1 or 2 deals. Remember what I said in the beginning. Marketing. You're supposed to shout. Everybody should hear you. Then, from that shouting, 1 or 2 people will come forward. Then conversation. Then from there, close deals. This is how content marketing works. First, you go shout. Mass market. You go blast. You understand? Full blast. Not half-hearted blasts. Those of you people who write one blog post in January, maybe you make one video again, 3rd week in January, then February 14th, you drop one video, then maybe March. Like, you are not serious. You have not started. I repeat, you put out 2 pieces of content in January, 1 piece of content in February, maybe March, you pick up, you now post like 12. You have not started. Attention. Grant Cardone talks about the attention economy. Well, at least he used to. I can't remember who else. Gary Vee, I think, also used to talk about the attention economy. Attention. Algorithms are busy. Things are happening all the time. If you're doing half-half, nobody is even hearing you. Remember, ADA, attention, interest, desire, action. So the companies that were there, big in Nigeria back in those days, late 70s, early 80s, the fast-moving consumer goods companies, Johnson's and Johnson's, what else, NBC, all these companies. What were they doing? Advertising, steady, steady, steady. Remember now, is it Secrets of the Rose, Abi Secrets of the Sand, and all those programs that used to show those days? They didn't used to, it's not like they will advertise on one day, then they won't advertise for the rest of the week. Monday, bam, advertise. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Advertise, steady. Attention. Shout. Some of you are doing things half-hearted, that's the problem. Today you post. Tomorrow, the body is weak. Next tomorrow, I didn't feel like the spirit didn't move me. Like, you are not serious. Now I'm being dramatic when I say shout, but almost that's the attitude. So your content marketing cannot be anyhow as the spirit leads. Today I do something, tomorrow I don't do something. No, consistent. Pick a cadence that is okay for you. If you can do every day, they move now. If you can do once a week, okay, no problem. But see, honestly speaking, the problem with that once a week is, anyway, let me just stop. But you know what? Once a week is a bad idea. None of you should say once a week. It's a bad idea. People's algorithms are busy. If you're posting only once a week, nobody's going to be able to see you. You're competing with a lot of things going on out there for attention. All right? Once a week is not a good idea. But I won't say you must do every day. But once a week, you have not started. I repeat, once a week, you've not started. It depends on your space. If you're in highly professional industries, like for instance, I was talking to a cardiologist. I was speaking with a cardiologist. This was last year at an event. And we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, as it relates to medicine and then things like that. Okay, fine, no problem. You're in that kind of space. You're only posting once a week. It's different. If you write one seminal piece, one seminal post every single week, your fellow professionals read it, that kind of thing, yes, okay, maybe it can work. But you're a health and you're a recovery coach, you only want to be posting once a week. Or you say you're a relationship coach, you only want to be posting once a week. You're a marriage coach, you only want to be posting once a week. You are not serious. Once a week means you've only posted in a month. It only means you posted 4 times. In 30 days, it means you only posted 4 times. Remember what I said. ADA, attention, interest, desire, action. I say you're supposed to shout, attention. How will you garner attention with just 4 posts in a month? How? It's not possible. Okay, let's say recovery. Let's say I'm somebody with I sniff cocaine. By the way, I don't. But let's say I sniff. So I sniff, I get high. When I crash and I calm down, I open my phone. I go to YouTube, I watch him, things like that. Maybe or something comes up one time, and I just swipe and I, continue, I just they watch him. Like, you won't reach me. You need to be coming up on my timeline. Today you're on my timeline. Tomorrow you're on my timeline. Next tomorrow you're on my timeline. Eventually one day I'll say, Kai, maybe it's God reaching out to me. Let me buzz this Franklin guy self. Let me see what he can do for me. I'm tired. So, all of you people who want to be coaches, life coach, relationship coach, marriage coach, this coach, that coach, I hope you guys are catching what I'm putting down. AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action. The first one is attention. Attention means you suppose shout. Then consistent. Back in the TV days, those people were consistent. You see the advert every day. For those of us who are children, when Indomie rolled out, remember, what was it again? Something. I think first was Honeywell noodles. Consistent until all of us, everybody shouting Honeywell noodles. Give me Honeywell noodles. Then Indomie wanted to enter the market. What did Indomie do? Indomie noodles. Steady, consistent advertising. Then next year, mommy, give me Indomie. Today, Indomie is a household name. It's not from showing up once. It's from showing up steady, not giving up. Every day, Indomie. We don't hear word until the thing came into a. See, if you don't believe me, right? Let's say you're a 20-something-year-old person, whatever. You're chilling out with your older siblings, 30, 40, 50. Just try it one day. Just think, Indomie, Indomie. Look around at their faces. See everybody go to smile. Say, where did you hear that thing? They will finish the song for you. Attention. 5 months, it's not enough. So back in the day, it was okay. One commercial on TV showing showing twice a day on the programs, for 7 days a week. Yeah, that was okay. Nowadays, I'm sorry, you need a whole lot more. You need a whole lot more. Some of you start talking about quality versus quantity. I don't even want to hear you quality versus quantity people. You're just making up excuses. You can do plenty and it can be high quality. It's not the production value, it's the thought process that goes on behind it. That's the reason why I'm here multiple times a week. There's nobody that would tell me that what I'm putting out here is not quality. Nobody. The only complaint I've heard is that, guy, you're prolific. It's hard to keep up. That's the only complaint I've heard. But nobody has told me that, guy, Omo, no quality. And it's been 20 minutes, so let's move. Now, if you're going to have a successful content marketing campaign, number one, content calendar. And I tell all of you, for some reason, people don't listen. Then they run into trouble. You can't start without a content calendar. I've done over 1,500 episodes. The reason why that is possible is because I have a content calendar. I have a content strategy. This is who I'm talking to. This is what I'll talk about. These are the issues. These are the questions that I'm going to answer every single day. So even if none of you ever send me a question again, in my Evernote, my old content calendar that I didn't finish, I still have 800 questions there unaddressed. So assuming none of you ever reach out again and send me a question, guess what? I can still run for 800 episodes. The content calendar gives you the security that you need to continue. You never have to wake up and say, what should I post about today? What should I write about today? What should I talk about today? You won't have that question because you've already thought it out ahead of time. So Franklin, I told you, and I hope you took my advice, and I tell everybody else, at least 1 year. With ChatGPT and all these tools, it's easy to come up with a content calendar for 1 year. If you don't like AI tools and you don't think you're that smart, no problem. The questions that people ask you around your area of specialty, start writing those things down. That's your content calendar. So Franklin, people have been asking you questions like, how did you come off drug addiction? So that's a question. How did I come off drug addiction? If somebody else comes to you and say, oh, the doctor is treating me for drug addiction, they're giving me morphine, excuse me. I'm not a medical doctor, by the way, so I'm just making stuff up. They're giving me hydrochloric something as an alternative to cocaine. Does that work? That's it. That's another podcast episode. If you're coming off of cocaine, what are the alternatives to use? Any question that people are asking you, just be putting it down there. Question, put it. And guess what? You never run out of questions. Do people keep asking me questions every week? Somebody will say, oh boy, you're creative. I'm not creative. All I'm doing is answering questions. Until the day people stop asking me questions. And of course, that's not going to happen because people will always have business challenges. I'll never run out of a topic. So, content calendar. Use AI. Come up with a year's worth of content. You don't like AI? No problem. Sit down and do some creative thinking. You're not creative? Okay, no problem. Just answer questions that people ask you. Bam. Finish. Content calendar. Sorted. Deal with questions that people ask, issues that people want to know around your space. So, Franklin, if you didn't take my advice then, take it now. At least 1 year's worth of content. The whole idea is I need some security. I should never be in a situation where I'm stranded. I don't know what I'm going to post today. I should never be in that situation. Then, let's have an honest conversation about the time required to build authority. For those of you who are aspiring coaches, remember talking to someone who wanted to be a feminist lifestyle coach. Now, marriage coach, this coach, that coach. Look, it takes a long time to build authority. Content marketing is a long-term game. Long-term in business means 3 to 5 years and above. So in other words, don't expect this thing to pop off in less than 3 years. Don't. It takes a long time to build authority. It takes a while before people start saying, oh yeah, that's Franklin. He's a drug recovery guy. Or, oh yeah, that's Tabishima. He's the business guy. Oh yeah, that's Ife Snachi. She's the feminist coach, lifestyle coach. Takes a while. Stop expecting things to pop off in less than 1 year. There are some people who pop off in less than 1 year. That is the anomaly. That is not how things normally happen. But even if you don't agree with me that it's the anomaly and you think can happen, okay, no problem. Go and ask them, how'd you do it? And by the way, I don't believe all those people who claim that they do it in less than a year. Because by the time you look at their story, you see that, oh, okay. Let me give one example. Remember, I used to be in the event space, photography. There was this photographer who used to talk about how he became what's it called? Like a premium, not premium, I can't remember. He became like a celebrity photographer in less than 1 year. And his story seemed okay. It seemed okay. Until I heard him on the podcast, and then he started talking about how he was a photography teacher. And he was an art teacher who taught photography in a certain school. Then he put together a photography club. Then one of the students said, "Sir, we can be making some small coins from this thing." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yes." He spoke to their parents. The parents said it was okay. No problem. They all started in business together as a photography club. Then they ran weddings for, was it 5 years or something like that, and became very, very profitable. Then he thought he wanted to move into a premium market, and then he launched that on his own, and then he did it in 1 year. But can you see that before he did it in 1 year, he had been running a business with his students for 5 years prior? And then, of course, now he be lecturer, so he's exceptionally skilled. Can you see that there's a foundation? That's the reason why I say all these people who keep saying, in 1 year, go and read their story. Small, you will see the truth. The truth is, it took him 7 years to become a celebrity photographer. That is the truth. So, but anyway, if you believe all these people, I did 1 year, no problem. Go and ask them. Now, remember, awareness, attention, all these things. For someone who is in the situation of Franklin, you should be focused on educational content. You should be talking about the science of addiction. You should be talking about, I don't even know myself. Sorry, I didn't do enough research before I started this, but you should be talking about all these kinds of things to build brand authority. That's just to get people to know that, I am here, I exist, this is what I do. Then there's some kind of content that you should create that help people. So, that help people consider, okay, what kind of action am I going to take in recovery? Is this something I can do on my own? Do I have to be an inpatient, in going to a medical institution to sort myself out? Do I have to be an outpatient? All those kind of content. Then there's bottom of the funnel content. That's, remember, AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action. So for people who have at the desire stage or action stage, you also be putting out videos, evidence-based videos, that this is how many people succeed on this kind of remedy, how many people succeed on this kind of remedy, blah, 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 things like that. By the way, don't make any promises. When it comes to medicine, you don't make any promises. Or you don't say anybody that takes this medicine will be cured. You don't say that. If you watch carefully, when malaria medicines are being advertised on TV, they say treats most cases of malaria, fast. Treats most cases of malaria dead. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you see asterisks. Asterisks there is where they put the disclaimer. They don't say they treat all. They say cures most. When it comes to medicine, you can't be making any kind of claims that 100% of people are cured them. So don't make any kind of claims like that. Then you also need to create, have ideas for content that are after the funnel. People have done business with you. You want them to keep coming back again and again. So you go have maybe like weekly newsletters that you send out to your former customers, or maybe you have like a WhatsApp community, Telegram community, or maybe you go to do monthly webinars and calls. But this is after people have become your client, just to maintain relationship, things like that, so that you get word of mouth. So that people come back again, because sometimes people relapse. So you want to make sure they don't, anyway, God forbid, somebody should relapse, because these are serious matters. But you want people to still, have your WhatsApp number in case anything happens. where you can see that, look, this is serious stuff. Sorry, frankly, now, if I'm sounding harsh, I'm just also trying to telegraph so that other people in your back who are hearing, who are in a similar situation, I just want them to clock it. So unfortunately, it's not that simple as posting for 5 months and then this thing didn't take action. But please remember, avoid guarantees. Don't say 100% success. Don't say I'm curing somebody. Don't, no, no, no. Because there are legal issues involved and ethical issues involved. I'm a former lawyer, even though I'm now a business consultant. But in this kind of thing, never say, 100% success. Never say that. Then there are some associations that you can look to. One of them is an Oyibo association. That's the NAATP, the National Association of Addiction Treatment Providers. So go and check the website, check their code of ethics, things like that. Go and learn. All right. Then try and see if you can find equivalent bodies for Nigeria. Because remember, Franklin, your experience is not is not enough. There's a whole lot more. Then, for the advertising campaign that you ran, we have to consider a few things. Number one, the targeting. Was it right? Sometimes the advertising campaign fails because we didn't target the right people. If you send the right advert, correct advertising, but you send it to the wrong people, you will flop, you will fail. So back to those people. Indomie, Indomie noodles. They were targeting us, children. They were putting it on shows that we, children, watched. So if you do Indomie, Indomie noodles, but you now go and put it on CNN, or you now go and put it on NTA News, you will flop. Beautiful advertising campaign, but the children are not hearing it. The children need to hear it and they need to sing it. Then they'll say, Mommy, Mommy, buy me Indomie. So targeting. In Facebook, did you give Facebook correct instructions that Facebook only show this my advert to these kind of people, this kind of people, this kind of people? If the advert reached the wrong people, there's no way you end up making money from this. Then reach. Reach just means how much money did you spend? The amount of money that you spent is how far the gospel is going to go. So if you drop 1 billion, your message will go far. But if you want to do advertising campaign, but you only drop 5K, where will 5K carry you? Where? So targeting, is our targeting correct? Then reach. How much money did you drop? How much bar did you drop? You want this thing to spread far, you need to drop serious money. You understand? You want this campaign to go out all over Nigeria, you need serious money. Don't go and be running 5K campaign, 10K campaign, 15K campaign and think that you're doing work. Then the copy, the amount, the kinds of words that you used. So did you use the right kind of words? Unfortunately, I didn't think so, because your language was buy now, that kind of thing. Buy now, spots limited, things like that. Slots limited, take advantage of this now. So that is direct response kind of marketing. Unfortunately, direct response is not reasonable given your circumstances. You need a different strategy. What you should have done was this: you should have run the advertisement, but run the advertisement to a landing page. From the landing page, people will read small. Maybe you now promise them a free WhatsApp call to talk about their journey in recovery. When people are now chatting with you in WhatsApp or talking with you from WhatsApp calls, you will now have a chance to now convert people to say, hey, yeah, my brother, sorry, oh, you know what, these are the kind of things I actually can do. Oh, my sister, yeah, but these are the things I kind of do. Then you now talk money and then say how many deals you close. So for you should have run the ad. The ad should have taken people to a landing page. From the landing page, you try and talk to one or two people. And remember, sales is always about talking to people. Always about talking to people. If you didn't talk to anybody, you're not a salesperson, you're an order taker. Order taking is also okay. It's not bad. Just don't confuse yourself. If you're an order taker, don't confuse yourself that you're a salesperson. That's how somebody will say that they've been in sales. You say, oh, okay, what's your sales experience? You say, I worked in Anti-Anjobi. That is not sales. It is order taking. The building is there. The signboard is there. The graphics are there. People who are hungry come and walk in. You are not doing sales. You are just taking orders. As I'm sitting on interviews for my clients who want to hire sales staff. You now say you have sales experience. Sales experience, how? You say, yes, because I worked in what's the Nigerian one? Mr. Biggs. Yeah, I was about to say McDonald's. I worked in Mr. Biggs. You are not in sales. You are an order taker. Because Mr. Biggs is there. The signboard is there. The hamburger is there. The rice and the chicken is there. The picture of the big Coke is there. Somebody's driving by, they see the sign. They enter inside, they walk up to the counter. You only just to smile. In fact, in Nigeria itself, they don't even smile at you again because they are frustrated. You only just to stay there and say, yes, how many chicken? How many pomo? How many egg? How many Fanta? You're an order taker. So, order taker is not bad, right? But if you didn't talk to anybody, don't say you're doing sales. So, Franklin and other people like Franklin, relationship coach, feminist lifestyle coach, run the ad. The ad should should take people to a landing page. They click on the ad, they end on a landing page. Are you tired of patriarchy? Do you want to live your fullest life? Something, something. This is my story, blah, blah, blah. This is my whatever. If you want to have a call, if you want to have a free 5-minute call with me about how feminism is destroying your chances for career, click here. Bam. They click, they enter into your WhatsApp. You start talking. From talking to people, patriarchy, now so you do me, now so you do me. It's from there that you will now say, you know what, just wire me 150K to be a part of my coaching program. We will something, 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 blah, blah, blah. That's how it works. Now, there are some people who have the brand equity to be able to run an ad without the whole landing page thing. Some people have that brand equity, like, like Uncle Tony now, for instance, Tony Olumelu. He's one of Nigeria's billionaires because he owns stakes in some of the generating companies, people who generate, the companies that generate power that we need. Power, as per NEPA. They generate electricity. Then, he started off in banking, and he currently is the chairman of Hares Holding. I think, they own Transcorp Hilton, they own Heirs Insurance, and a bunch of other stuff. So, Tony Elumelu, certified big boy. If Tony Elumelu today, all right, he won't do this because it's beneath him. But if today, in 2026, he runs an advertisement on Facebook saying, doing a dinner, if he doesn't even have to do advertisement himself, all he has to do is just create the post, Lasson, that's all, single post on his profile, just saying, hey, it's your boy Tony Olumelu, having a dinner with we have limited slots only, just 30 people. So if you want to hang out with me, 600,000 naira, blah blah blah, click the link below. Oh, by the way, Dangote will be passing through. Oh, I'm telling you, one day it will sell out because it will be like, only 600K to spend time with Tony Olumelu. Me and him will be on the same table, and he said Dangote is even passing through. It's only 600K. People will drop it. He said 30 slots like that. One day, 18 million. Tony Elumelu can pull that off because he has the brand equity. He won't even have to advertise. I'm telling you, all he has to do is just put it on his page. We'll be having dinner at the Hilton. Or, in fact, to make it even sweeter, he says we'll be having dinner at my house. Okay, no, if it's going to be at my house, that 600K won't make sense. Maybe it will be like 2M or so, because that one is his house. So it has to be some premium people. Maybe 5M himself. And you know what? I'm speculating at this point, so let me just stop. But I'm saying that yes, someone like Tony Elumelu, he can pull that off. 30 slots only. By now, well, that one is different. So direct response doesn't work in all circumstances. So dear life coaches and other people, remember, ad campaign, from ad campaign to landing page. Let people see you small. From landing page, try and get people in your WhatsApp or get people in your email inbox or something. So it's from that emailing, from that WhatsApping, from that phone calling, hopefully you'll be able to close a couple of deals. So, sorry, Mr. Franklin, that I went on for 40 minutes. But the problem is you didn't give this thing enough time. My brother, it's only been 5 months. If we stretch it, it's only been 5 months. Realistically, it's been 4 months, and a few days. You try to milk your audience prematurely. Don't feel bad. Everybody makes that mistake. Me too. I made that mistake too. My first campaign, my first thing, 0. No orders. No orders at all. None. Nobody interested. So it's normal. So this campaign was premature. Now, Franklin, if you remember the conversation that we had before, and that's the reason why I was vexing for you. Yeah, I told you what's the plan for the money. You said, don't worry, I'll take care of that. Let me repeat it again. for the benefit of other people who are listening. Because content marketing strategies take a long time, remember, 3 to 5 years, I will always ask you the question, what is the plan for the money today? Because while you're content marketing for 3 to 5 years, how will you be paying school fees now? How will you be eating food now? How will you pay DSTV now? How will you pay fuel now? By the way, this is the reason why, for those of you who are still in uni, that's the reason why I say now is the time. So if you're in uni year 2, you're going to do content marketing, no problem. Your father will be happy with you. Your mother will say, that's my son, that's my daughter. They will support you over the 3 years when you're making content. By the time you don't graduate, you don't build, your reputation don't they grow. You understand? It's then that you now start trying to monetize some stuff. So those of you in school, now is the time. You're in university, 100 level. Now is the time. Begin. Content marketing, it'll work perfect for you. Because now there's no pressure. Transport money, Popsy will give you. Food money, Momsy will sort you. When times are rough, student life now, we'll cope. Somehow. Somebody will have Gary, somebody will have beans, we'll rough it. Now is the time. But for those of you who are aspiring content creators, stop avoiding this question. What are we going to do for immediate cash now? Sustenance money now. Sustenance money today. Transport money today. Food money today. Next month. While you are trying to, remember, AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action. While you're trying to work on attention, while you're trying to build authority, while you're trying to build reputation, while you're trying to build audience, what will I do for money today? It's the money part that is going to frustrate you. For most people, you go ahead, you start, you don't pay attention to this thing. Then your wife starts to complain. You resign and then you go and get a job. You now say business was hard. No. It's not that business was hard, man. You picked a model that didn't work for your circumstances. You picked the wrong model. That's the reason why I tell a whole lot of you who say, I want to start podcast. That's the reason why I say, don't. Your primary concern now is money. Sell something. Don't do content marketing. A lot of you want to do content marketing because it sounds cool, because it sounds sexy. You like seeing yourself on video. You like hearing yourself on the podcast. Yes, it's sexy. But it doesn't pay the bills in the short term. A lot of you should not be doing content marketing, content creation, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to kill your dreams. I'm just saying that let's be real here. So, if you have a supportive spouse, call your wife and say, my dear, and have that conversation. You have a supportive spouse, call your husband and say, my dear, have that conversation. You live at home with your parents, I beg, double down now. You don't have to discuss with your parents. Just be doing it. Momsy go to see your timeline and everything. She'll be like, that is my boy is thinking. This is my girl. She's thinking. She doesn't want to be a housewife like me. They will support you. You don't even have to discuss it with them. Just start. The only thing you do is you assure your parents that you will still pass your exams. Please try and graduate 2-1. If you can't graduate first class, if you can. If you can't hit first class, then just do 2-1. It's important, but we'll talk about that in another podcast episode. Then, Mr. Franklin, and then for other people who are in Franklin's situation, get some training, get some certifications. Your life story is not enough. Get some certifications, get some training. For those of you who are making health and safety claims, you're a mental health coach. You're a psychological whatever coach. This is not marriage and relationship. If it's marriage and relationship, who cares? If you coach somebody, marriage, whatever, their marriage falls apart, police won't harass you. But if you say you're doing recovery coach, you are meeting somebody, then tomorrow they found out that the person took his own life, you don't think police will call you a suspect. It is not even for the protection of other people. This is for your own protection. When we say that if you're making health and safety claims, you go and get training, you go and get certification. It's not even to protect other people, it's to protect you. So that you won't do something that will cause the death or cause the harm of another person. Or that even if death or harm occurs while you're doing your job, see, it's unfortunate, but this is just life. I'm a business development consultant. If I mess up, the worst that happens is my client loses money, but nobody dies if I mess up. Unfortunately, Mr. Franklin, you mess up, somebody dies. So this is serious. I'm not trying to scare you. And remember, it's for your own protection. So that's my summary. Give this thing more time. You better look for something that brings cash today. In the meantime, work on your training, work on your certifications. The next time you run an advertisement, make sure that your targeting is correct. You're getting to the right people. Make sure that the thing has reach. If it's going to the right people, but only 5 people are seeing it every day, what are the chances? What are the chances that we're going to close some deals on an advertising campaign that only 5 people are seeing it every day? So 5 people seeing it every day, 5 times 7, that is what, 35? Only 35 people are seeing it a week. Then let's see, 35 times 4, Abby? 30, 30, 30, that's 120 plus 20. So only 140 people are seeing it a month. If you have an advertising campaign and only 140 people saw it last month, especially since you're a newbie in the space, less than 5 months, don't be surprised that 140 people saw it and nobody clicked. Don't be surprised. AIDA, attention, interest, desire, and then action. There's not enough attention. The people that even saw it, like, is this a credible guy? This Franklin himself, who is he? Okay, just looks like an ordinary fellow. Okay, and then they walk past. All right, so these might have been some of the issues. And let me just bring it to a close now. It's been over 46 minutes. So, if you'd love to connect with me, just like Franklin did, call, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. If you're interested in a 15-minute sale audit, you want me to look at any of your business processes, the number is the same, 080-6466-2140. Or if you're shy, you don't like talking to strangers, that's not a problem. Just send me a message and you can be on my WhatsApp channel for updates. So that's it. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and I'll catch you all some other time.